What is up, everyone? It is Friday, which means it's time for previews and predictions. But before we get to the games that I'll be keeping my eye on this weekend, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be in Austin, Texas for the next 5 days, which means we have to do a pickup game. And if you live nearby, you got to come. You have to do it. I'm pressuring you. I'm guilting you into coming, because it'll be a lot of fun. And I don't know all the details as of yet, but it's going to be Sunday night. So follow me on all my regular social media channels to get all the pertinent info, because I have it. It'll happen. You're gonna find it's fine. Let's get to the first game, which is Celtic versus Rangers. And here are a few fun facts that you should know ahead of the Old Firm derby this weekend. 1, Rangers are close to hiring the Latin version of me, Pedro Caixinha, which is awesome. I mean, look at that handsome face. 2, Celtic are undefeated and have dropped points only once all season, which was a 1-1 draw back in September. 3, Celtic have won 22 straight league games, which puts them 8 wins away from breaking the all-time European record of 29, which was set by Benfica in 1972. 4, Celtic can also break the record for the largest title-winning margin of all time, which was set by PSG last season, and it was 31 points. Right now, Celtic are 27 points ahead of second place Aberdeen, and there are 11 games left to go. And 5, Celtic are just a better team, and they're playing at home, so my prediction's gonna be Celtic 3, Rangers 1. And next up, it's Tottenham versus Millwall. This is Spurs' game to lose. They are playing at home, and on paper, they have a vastly superior team to their opponents. However, the FA Cup does crazy things to people's brains, and the underdog, the clear underdog in these games, find a way to believe in themselves like they never believed in themselves before. And since Millwall has already defeated Leicester and Bournemouth and Watford in this competition this season, then they have to think that they have a reason to believe. They've done it before. They've tasted the success of knocking off a bigger club, but Spurs are still pretty good, and that's gonna be a tough task. So my prediction's gonna be Spurs 1, Millwall 1, and they're gonna have to do a replay. And up next, we have Inter Milan versus Atalanta. And to break down the biggest game of the weekend in Italy, since Juventus and AC Milan are being played probably right about now, I'm turning it over to my previews and predictions correspondent, Adrian from Rabona TV. Take it away, Adrian.
Inter leads the league in shots per game, which bodes well for them when they have a striker like Mauro Icardi, who leads his team both in goals scored with 17 and assists with 8. Speaking of 8, or less than that, Atalanta is unbeaten in their last 7 matches and sit 1 point ahead of Inter. After a bad start to this season, they organized that D, and are third best in the league in that regard, despite still sucking at defending set pieces. They will be missing highly sought after central midfielder Frank Kessie through suspension after he got 2 yellows in like 2 seconds versus Napoli. And that could hurt them a lot. Now, last time these two played, it was 2-1 for Atalanta, but this time Inter's coming into it feeling pretty spicy after their 5-1 win over Cagliari, so I think they're going to take it 2-1, this time in favor of Inter. Let's go!
And now it's time for the United derby between Minnesota and Atlanta. As expected for these two new expansion clubs, they lost their first ever game in the league. But Atlanta shouldn't have. They lost at home 1-0 to the New York Red Bulls, while Minnesota, well, they deserve to lose theirs. But they didn't play as bad as the 5-1 scoreline suggested, so there should be plenty of hope for both sets of supporters about what their respective clubs are capable of. And I'm not just saying that for this upcoming game, but for the whole season. So my prediction, though, for this one is that Atlanta is better on paper, but I really feel like Minnesota is going to use the emotion of playing in their first ever game at home to great effect, and they're going to win 2-1. And now let's head to France for Monaco versus Bordeaux. So if Monaco is the most surprising team in France this season, if only due to their ability to score lots of goals, then Bordeaux can't be too far behind. Ever since they switched to a 4-3-3 formation and started trusting their younger players up top, like 20-year-old Francois Camano and 22-year-old Gaëtan Laborde, they have lost only once in the league since December 12th and moved up to 5th place, which puts them only 4 points behind Lyon for the last Europa League spot. But Monaco is Monaco, and Monaco is really f***ing good this season, so I'm gonna say Monaco wins 3-2. And next up, it's Bayern Munich versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Bayern have no injuries to speak of. They haven't lost at home all season, and they're fresh off of a what spanking of Arsenal in London in the Champions League, while Frankfurt, who started the season off really well, have lost 4 straight league games. So I'm not even sure why I'm previewing this one. My prediction, let's just say Bayern 6, Frankfurt won. And finally, it's Tigres versus Chivas Guadalajara. Or should I say the Alan Pulido derby, because since the current Chivas striker last played at Tigres' stadium a few years ago as a Tigres player, this is what happened to him. He went to a World Cup, but didn't play. Then he left Tigres to play in Greece and won the Greek Super League. Then he was involved in a scandal over his contract. Then he called off getting married. Then he missed out on the Olympics. Then he was banished from the Mexican national team for over 2 years. And then he endured a traumatic kidnapping experience. No joke. So my prediction, I don't even care what the score is. I just want Alan Pulido to be happy and alive at the end of it. The guy's been through a lot. All right, that is it. That is all I got. But next week, Q&As, career modes, and a whole bunch more. So be on the lookout. And until then, have a good weekend. Later.